third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around these parts. Paimon heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. Sounds pretty impressive. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around. Let's go talk to them.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but I'm still worried about him. Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him. This time, though...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right as rain in no time.
What? You do realize that he's lost his vision, and whatever he's lost, he's not getting back, right?
Hey there! Did something happen?
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Get out of here immediately! Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong. We just came here to...
We're here to become... Why can't you just tell the truth? Why do we have to be discreet? Why can't you just say, we've been tasked with chatting to people who have lost their visions to understand the repercussions of such an act? Why? What's wrong with honesty? Honesty is the best policy. Always? Yeah, always. I don't care if it hurts somebody. Honesty is the right way to go. We're here to become disciples. It's just outright lying to these poor people.
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo Shisui art. It's the whole reason we came all this way, to seek him out and ask him to train us. But then we got here and overheard you talking about how he got possessed or something?
From the way you're dressed, it doesn't look like you're from around here. Please, accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble recently that we're on high alert. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new disciples for the time being.
I just don't understand why you've immediately gone to possessed when you know he's lost his vision. It's such a weird conclusion to jump to. We can wait until he's recovered.
I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple Nanako and I will explain Sensei's situation to you in a little more detail. Then you can decide whether to stay or to leave. Sensei's name is Domon, a name I'm sure you've already heard.
Yeah, I've already spoken to him.
Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many other prominent sword masters, never losing a single fight. He once said that his goal was to become the best sword master in the world. And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. His fervor truly inspired us, and we trained hard, determined to keep up with him. But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He hasn't been the same since.
Yes, but explain to me how you went from vision taken away to possession. It's a very large leap of logic.
He says the strangest things over and over, and he refuses to let us train. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's been possessed by an evil spirit. So we've asked the shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine to perform an exorcism.
Wow, you guys are so oblivious.
But if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over whether he'll completely recover.
He'll never recover. Accept it and move on.
The Grand Narukami Shrine? What's that?
What do you mean, what's that? We've bloody been there.
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. The head shrine maiden is reputed to have very close ties with the almighty Shogun herself. Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one of the ordinary shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine would have clear power and authority to perform an exorcism. So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be just fine. The exorcism will take place this evening. You're both more than welcome to come and watch if you're interested.
So, losing your vision can cause possession?
No.
guess we should come back this evening and see for ourselves.
Oh my god, why is I'm meant to be having a better time because this is Inazuma, it's new main story quest, and it's great. But oh my god, why are you all so stupid? I mean, even the other two aside, because maybe they don't fully understand what happens when a vision's taken away. I can accept that. But Paimon going, oh, losing your vision can cause possession? Gasp! Why can't you just understand that he's not possessed? He's just acting differently because of a lost vision. We know this is the case with everybody's had the vision taken away. Except... Oh no. Except Kazuya, but Kazuya already... He still has his vision, so no. So that's true. So... Why? Why are you suddenly believing that vision loss is causing possession? I just... Why? Wait until night. God, this poor guy. He's gonna be like caught off guard that this is happening. They're gonna just perform an exorcism and he doesn't want to have an exorcism performed. This feels bad. Feels horrible.
It's time to move on. We should...
Shh. So you decided to come. It's a good thing you didn't arrive any earlier. You would have had to witness Sensei one of his fits of madness.
Define fits of madness.
Just now, when Nanako was attending to him, she heard him whispering a few names to himself.
And?
When she asked him who the people were, he suddenly looked panic-stricken and pushed her away. It looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking frantically around him with bloodshot eyes.
And?
All the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew. Others we didn't recognize. But they all seemed to be the names of sword masters he had defeated in the past. One of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of Sensei's. His senior, in fact. But Sensei defeated him in a duel many years ago. And he has been a wanderer ever since.
Has he lost his pride as a swordsman? And is now feeling guilt over everybody he beat over the years, and consequently they, you know, this guy here completely abandoned the way of the sword, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, and has become a wanderer. Like, is he starting to feel guilty for that because he's lost his pride? I'm amazed that he can even remember that it occurred.
Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. Thankfully, the shrine maidens managed to subdue him, so the exorcism can finally continue.
You're an idiot.
The ritual has now begun. All we can do is patiently await the result. Here's hoping Sensei will be back to his normal self very soon.
Bruh, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but it's never going to happen.
Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water. If he wakes up, he is sure to be thirsty.
If he wakes up, what did you do to him? I know you said they subdued him, but how? Wait. Is he running away from the exorcism? Love it.
Who's that sneaking around? Uh-oh. Could they be here to mess up the exorcism?
See, this is another problem I have with the game. I don't really know how they would fix it per se, but I've met this guy in the world. I've spoken to this guy in the world. Yet it's suddenly treating it like I've never seen this guy before, I've never met this guy before, even though I already have. And it's a continuity error that bothers me greatly. It seems like the game needs to have like a little check. If you've interacted with that NPC prior to this quest, then it needs to flip that switch and choose separate dialogue. Because you know this person already. And if you haven't met that person, then that switch doesn't get flicked. So the conversation doesn't change path. It just goes through the default path, which is this. It just seems such a basic thing. But no, we don't know him. Never met him before. Never seen him in our lives.
Come on, look.
Never seen him. Come on.
Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up?
Hey, treasure map lady. Have you seen Bilmon?
Definitely the right place.
Wait, what?
Let's look a little further up.
Further up. Okay. This is here, isn't it? Yep.
Suspicious person sighted! That's gotta be him!
You know, I think that this lady is far more suspicious than Domon.
How did you catch up with me so quickly?
Well, let's see. You're an old man with not much stamina. Let's just leave it at that.
Are you sure you're Domon's disciples? You move even quicker than he does.
Oh no, I'm not your disciple.
Unless... I guess it's been a few years. Maybe his skills have improved again.
Excuse me? We're the ones asking the questions here. First off, who are you?
Or is this not Domon? Let's face it, it's been like 2 weeks since I last played, so I just assumed this was Domon. This must be the Wanderer. Oh, what's his name? They mentioned it like 2 seconds
And
ago.
what are you doing sneaking around these parts? You seem like bad news, mister.
Bad news?
She's so
I'll
accusatory.
have you know I trained side by side with Domon
Yeah, this is
back
the
in
Wanderer.
the day. Long before you ever showed up. I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know, I am Domon's senior.
His senior? Wait, that means you must be...
Anzai.
That's the one.
Yes,
Like, it says with A. I don't remember the rest of it. Why did you run? Why did you run?
Because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever again.
But then why were you by his dojo?
When we were young, we trained under the same sword master, studying Meikyo Shisui art together.
Butchered it, but
I
sure.
had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me as a steady and dependable older disciple. Practitioners of Meikyo Shisui art seek to achieve stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. So the majority of disciples are indifferent to rank and reward. I was no exception.
And get to the
Domon was
point.
different. The first thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei and ask him, with a beaming smile on his face, how to become the best in the world.
I want to be the very best that no one ever was. It's just seriously what comes to my head when he says
scolded
that.
him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such vain ends. Sensei said that coveting the title of the best sword master, barely days into his training, showed that he had a fickle mind, and that this would impede him from ever mastering the blade.
I don't know about that. That feels a bit condescending. Just because one person's motives is different to someone else's doesn't mean that theirs are any less worthy.
I thought so too at the time, but Domon began making swift progress in his training and even started catching up with me. Only then did I realize that it was Domon who had long since freed his mind from all agitation. He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing less than perfection in the art of the sword, and nothing could deter him from this goal, no matter what stood in his way.
Well, as I said, yeah, having a goal in mind is the best motivator. You guys didn't have a goal other than, hey, this is fun, let's do this is cool. He was like, no, I'm going to be there X years from now. I am going to work my ass off to get there. So yeah, he was going to be better than you. But what relevance does this have? I only want to know why you don't want to talk to them ever again. You're going about this in a very long way.
Sure sounds like he meant business. So how come you don't want to ever see him again?
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would succeed our sensei as the master of Meikyo Shisui art. Of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Everyone had high expectations for me. Domon's arrival changed everything. When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride and my status too. I fled the dojo that day and never looked back.
I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, if you're not the best, you're not the best. Accept it and move on.
Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately that match used up every last ounce of energy in his body. After that, I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down though, I still respected his mastery of the blade and his commitment to the art of the sword. So, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to dismiss them as false. How could he, of all people, have lost his mind? His mind was the sharpest of them all. He had practiced Meikyo Shisui art to perfection. I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my complete astonishment, I heard him call my name. I thought mine was a name he had long since forgotten. So you see, I came here not to cause him any harm. I just wanted to see for myself. Okay, you've heard my story. You should get back now. The exorcism is probably finishing.
I don't understand why you think he would have forgotten your name all those years ago. Do you have such, how to say this, feelings of insignificance that you think that him beating you wasn't an important step in his life? Beating you ensured that he was on the trail to becoming the heir, to inherit the dojo. So beating you was a momentous part of his life. Why would you think that he would disregard that moment so easily? It sounds like you have feelings of inadequacy and you're projecting them onto him.
Seems like we got it wrong this time. He wasn't here to mess up the exorcism at all. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back with us. Let's go see how the exorcism's coming along.
I mean, it's daylight. I bloody hope it's done by this point in time. Front door? Oh yeah, you assume we take the front door. Well, there's the Shrine Maiden.
What? You're saying he isn't possessed?
Could have told you that one.
Does that mean he's just lost his mind? But how is that possible? No, I refuse to believe it. Something's clearly wrong.
If you think about it logically, Nanako, the best part of him was his sharp mind, his ability to set goals and realize them by just being determined. So that means his vision was focusing on that aspect of him. So now that his vision is gone, his sharp mind is gone with it. So yeah, he has lost his mind, but as a direct correlation of losing his vision.
Nanako, please, try not to get agitated.
I am sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign of any malignant spirit having possessed Domon. But spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed myself. Thus, I dare not rule out possession with complete certainty. And all is certainly not lost, for I received word not long ago that Lady Yai has taken an interest in your sensei's case.
What did you call it? Ya?
Lady Yai? Is that the same Lady Yai that I think you mean?
The head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine? That's wonderful news. Then Sensei will be sure to recover.
You're in denial. He's not going to recover.
Correct. Lady Yai is most knowledgeable indeed, and has abundant experience in the exorcism of evil spirits and aversion of great calamities.
I'm gonna point out that if her name was pronounced Yai, it would be Yay. Y-A-I. That's Yai. That's clearly Yay. Yai. Bit off. But Y-A-I is how they're pronouncing that name.
I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed your sensei, but Lady Yai can give a conclusive verdict.
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask, should we prepare a greeting gift for Lady Yai?
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand Narukami Shrine. Lady Yai does not like to be kept waiting. I must leave now, but we will meet soon at the shrine. I wish Domon a full and speedy recovery.
I just feel like everything would be solved. Not in the sense of him getting his intelligence back, but the mystery around him. If the traveler just spoke up, like, I get that they have no reason to believe me, but when you can provide proof of Kurosawa, is that his name? And the dude back from the village, Konda village, they could see this proof for themselves and understand. So why am I such a useless human being and I'm not saying anything and helping these people? It seems very inconsiderate.
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken notice of our sensei's case?
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to deserve Lady Yai's attention?
No, that's not what I meant at all. You misunderstand me. I just mean this is Lady Yai, the head shrine maiden. She has direct and close contact with the almighty Shogun herself. Anyway, you should join us too, tomorrow. Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we, the disciples of Meikyo Shisui Art, will do our best to help you.
I've got to ask, are there just the two of you? Does this dojo literally only serve 2 people? That's a little unrealistic, but sure. I will gladly join you.
Sure. After all, everyone seems pretty excited about Lady Yai. We're curious to meet her too. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out a thing or two about the Raiden Shogun from her.
A Swordsmaster's path is paved with broken blades. It's a very long name. And they want us to go to the shrine. This is not going to go well. We've never met her, have we?
You think that's Lady Yai?
I'm going to assume so.
Oh, no wonder.
And if she looks
Junya
like
is
that,
so
I'm going to assume
excited.
she's a character you
She has a
can
really striking presence.
get in your team eventually.
Also, is it just Paimon? Or did she look right at us just now? It was probably nothing. It's not like she's ever seen us before.
This is true. I've certainly never seen her before.
Keep away. Keep away from me. I gave up the art of the sword. Please, let me go, I beg you.
As you can see, Lady Yai, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears to see those who have lost to him in duels past, gathered all around him to persecute him.
Sorry, I'm looking at her hair. Are those ears or is that hair? Either way, it looks weird.
Lady Yai, it must be a possession, right? This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter what came his way, he would always face it with a confident smile.
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your sensei is not possessed by any evil spirit.
But then does that mean he...
Yes. This is a change in the person himself.
She sounds so unconcerned. Wow. I suppose when you have to deal with the Shogun, there's probably a consequence of the relationship.
Unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under, he suffered a spiritual collapse. With his wits impaired, he finally descended into madness. As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament, it does nothing to prevent his descent into the depths. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision. For to be stripped of one's vision is to be stripped of one's ambition.
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Yai, even without his ambition, why should he suffer such a dramatic change? How does that explain his descent into madness?
Because your vision is connected to the best of you. We've seen this time and time again.
Your school practices Meikyo Shisui art, does it not? Stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be if any in this world could ever hope to achieve it. There was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by his junior. And then there was an aged swordmaster who was aggrieved enough that he crossed blades with a disciple he himself had taught. Then, what of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both? Can one truly remain unagitated, of still mind in moments such as these?
Lady Yai, I'm not sure I understand.
The path of the Sword Master is filled with twists and turns. It is no small undertaking to pursue the position of greatest Sword Master in the world. It requires one to take their sword firmly in both hands and cut down the hopes and dreams of others, even those of one's closest companions. Only a deep commitment to his ambition to become the best made it possible for him to rise above the pain of these encounters, to focus on the way ahead.
I've got to ask though, how is she allowed to maintain her vision? I don't understand the hypocrisy of the Sokoka Decree. Or the Vision Hunt Decree, sorry, they're two separate things. The Vision Hunt Decree. And that some people get to keep theirs, but everyone else has theirs yanked away from them. It makes literally no sense.
When that ambition disappeared, he began to doubt himself. As he battled his growing anxiety, he slowly descended into the state you see him in now. Much like a certain fatally flawed friend of mine.
The Shogun, I suspect.
Poor Sensei. To think he's been suffering so greatly.
What, you couldn't see it?
I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Father, Sensei, Ansai.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that Ansai? Where did he come from?
He came from the door, Paimon.
Did he follow us the whole way here?
Ansai, why are there two of you? Is that you or a ghost? You're here for revenge, aren't you? I knew it would come. I never should have.
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. But I didn't come here to settle a score. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You did nothing wrong that day. I couldn't face the humiliation. That's why I ran. I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. On the contrary, when you cut our ambitions short, we entrusted them to you, in the hopes that they might carry you further. Now I know that we can't place our hopes in you any longer, since you've been stripped of your ambitions too. But that is no reason to strip them of theirs. Follow the way of the sword all the way to the highest peak. You taught them that, didn't you?
But what if one day, the same thing happens to them?
They don't have visions. It won't.
I put everything I had into trying to become the best. But what if it was all a huge mistake right from the start? If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day, I'd rather they stay where they are now than go any further down this path.
They don't have visions.
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you rescued me from the hands of the pirates, I told myself I would follow in your footsteps for the rest of my days. I can't know whether I will suffer in my future as you do now. All I know is that here and now, in the present, I wish to continue. I want to keep going until the day that I can stand before everyone with my head held high and announce that I, like my sensei Domon before me, am a master of Meikyo Shisui art.
Nanako's far from the only one. Actually, all of us think that way.
Goodness. Well,
You see? You can place the ambition you once had in their hands.
Technically it can't because it's with his vision.
Being stripped of your ambition is something that's never happened to me, so I can't claim to understand it. But I do know what it feels like to have your ambitions crushed. That's what happened on the day that you so effortlessly defeated me. So, just as I once placed my ambitions onto you, it is time for you to release yours into their custody.
Seriously, tell me these two guys do not look absolutely identical apart from their hairstyle. Their faces are exactly the same. That's why I assumed they were the same person.
You are not in the same position that I was. When I left, I had nothing to my name. But you have a great number of worthy disciples.
See? It's the
I
exact
understand.
same face, just with different hair.
I'm sorry to have made you worry for me, and for the state of Meikyo Shisui art. I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and suffering inside of me will not abate, so I cannot hope to still my... But as
Oops,
your
sorry,
sensei,
on the spacebar.
I shall commit to imparting unto you everything I have learned in my life so far. This is my promise. And I humbly ask Anzai, my senior, to hold me to my word.
I'm just waiting for the Miko to just yawn, bored, and move off.
You can count on that. I'd be checking in on you occasionally anyway, just to make sure you hadn't lost your mind again. But I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong in the dojo anymore, so I will simply stop by once in a while to make sure you aren't cutting any corners with them. Well, don't just stand there staring at me. Say thank you to Lady Yai and then get yourself back home.
The disciples thank the
So
Shrine Maiden
even though
and
his
head home.
ambition was taken away, his disciples can take it over on his behalf. Guess that sort of solves this one, huh?
Yes, it seems as good as a resolution as we can hope for.
Traveler, a moment, please. Lady Yai has some words for you.
Of course she does.
So, my intuition was correct.
About?
The wind that blows from afar carries fresh life to these shores.
Yes. What of it?
For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment.
She wants to use me to help the Shogun. Not in a bad way. Like, I think from what she said before, she sees...
I have high hopes for you,
Don't press
child.
anything. She must have gotten
Don't
really irritated with
disappoint
me
me.
talking. She wants to have the Shogun realize that what she's doing is wrong in some way, or to help her become better than the current state that she's in. And she can see that I have the ability to do that. So she's going to use me to achieve her own ends to fix the Shogun. That's what I predict. Wait, child.
Lady Yai seems to have taken a real interest
Lady,
in
I'm
you.
pretty sure I'm older than you. Yeah, I'm in a child's body. I don't even think I've hit 18, but I'm pretty sure I've existed longer than you.
She seems super mysterious. I'm so curious what she really meant by all that. We can come back to it another time. For now, we should go report back to Miss Kamisato.
Oh yeah, I gave us this quest. Forgot about that. We can go back to the Kamisato estate. God, now I've got the Pokemon theme song stuck in my head. God damn it! And your words about being the best in the world. You see what you've done to me? Oh no.